Okay, good morning. Today we're going to be talking about the 10th commandment, the mitzvah of do not covet. Let's just set this up over here properly. Hold on. Second, where's my Zoom? Second. Okay. So good morning. So today we're going to be talking about the 10th commandment, do not covet. So I'm going to share my screen here so you could see this mitzvah. Oh, not that. Hold on. Okay. So the reason why we're starting this, first of all, is because next week, Thursday, we start reading about the it is a holiday of Shavuot. So Thursday, Friday next week is a holiday of Shavuot. So we read the 10 commandments. So we have them here in our screen in front of us. If we have time, we'll deal for more. But for now, we're going to be dealing with commandment number 10. So commandment number 10 says like this: Lo tachmod beit re'echa. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. Lo tachmod eshet re'echa. Do not covet the wife of your neighbor, of your friend. Ve'avdo, his servant. Ve'amato, his maidservant. Ve'shoro, his ox. Ve'chamoro, his donkey. Ve'chol asher l're'echa, and anything that your neighbor, that your friend owns. First of all, how is it possible not to covet? And more specifically, there was a student of the Mizrich Maggid, the Maggid Mizrich, who once came to him and he said, I don't understand. When the Torah says to me commandments like do not murder, it's tough, but I can handle, I can control myself. Do not steal, I can control myself. Or the Torah tells me to do something, I could do it. When the Torah tells me to refrain from speaking, from saying, from controlling my mouth, I could also handle that. I could also do it. But when the Torah says, do not think, do not covet, do not be jealous, which is a feeling, how is it possible not to feel if I feel like that? So the Mizrich Maggid told his student, the only person who can answer your question is my student Reb Zev Wolf from Zhytomyr. So this student went over to Reb Zev Wolf's house. It was a few days' journey away. It was a cold winter night when he gets to his house. And it's the middle of the night, and he's the only light on, a candle on in town is Reb Zev Wolf's house. So he stands by the freezing cold. He's shivering, and he knocks on the door. And he sees inside through the window. He sees Reb Zev Wolf is there, and he must be studying the Talmud by the candle. And nobody's coming to the door. So surprised, he knocks a little louder. Waits another few minutes, no response. So he's banging on the door. He's freezing. He's shivering. He's freezing cold. He bangs even louder. And there's no response. So he doesn't know what to do. There's nowhere else to go to in town. He's freezing cold, but he's got no choice. So every few minutes, he keeps on banging. He tries the window. He tries the door. He tries every part of the house. No avail. After 2 hours of shivering, Reb Zev Wolf comes to the door. And he welcomes him. He says, hello, how are you? What's going on? It's so nice to see you. Welcomes him with such joy and chayut and vigor. And he's like, gives him a meal, warm up by the fire. So he spends 2-3 days by the Zev Wolf. And Zev Wolf is the most gracious host, the most beautiful person. And after 3 days, he tells him, the purpose of my coming here is because the Maggid Mizrich, our teacher, told me that you will teach me how it's possible to control your thoughts. So Zev Wolf looked at him and he said, this I taught you the very first night that you tried to get into my house. When my message was that this is my house. I allow whoever I want into my house. Whoever I don't want, I let them outside, shivering outside. I allow people into my brain. I allow the thoughts into my brain. I am in full control of my head, of my thoughts, of my brain. Just like my house, I can control it. You and only you are able to control all your thoughts. So with this in mind, let's analyze this verse of the 10 Commandments, and we'll see that what the Torah is doing is actually giving us a tremendous lesson in how to control the idea of jealousy. So the Torah says like this, Lo tachmod beit re'echa. It's actually redundant. You see, the end of the verse says, V'chol asher le're'echa, which means anything that your friend owns. So if it says anything that your friend owns, why does it say don't covet your neighbor's house, his wife, his manservant, his maidservant, his ox, his donkey? That's 6 things the Torah could have just said, don't covet anything that he owns. And we know that nothing is redundant in Torah. If Torah says something, it's because of a lesson. And it's here, the Torah is teaching me the secrets, how not to covet. Besides for the story I mentioned that you can control your thoughts, the Torah is giving me a secret remedy to jealousy. And here it is. You see, the word v'chol asher lere'echa can mean in Hebrew anything your friend owns, but it can also mean everything your friend owns. Anything and everything. In English, he translates it here as whatever belongs to your neighbor. But the word v'chol asher lere'echa in Hebrew means anything that your friend owns. It can also mean everything that he owns. And what I mean is as follows. When you look at your friend and you like her diamond necklace and you feel yourself, oh my God, if only I could have that diamond necklace. You look at your friend's beautiful house, stunning palace. The kitchen is bigger than your entire home, and you think to yourself, oh my God, if only I could have that. You look at your friend's, let's say, private plane, and you think, oh my goodness, if only I could have a private plane. Says the Torah, you want her diamond ring, you want her diamond necklace, you want her husband because he's so charming and so friendly and so nice. Remember, v'chol asher lere'echa, it's a package deal. Your friend's private plane, your friend's home comes as a package deal. You see, God gave every single one of us a burden of sorrow, so to speak, to carry. And every single person's burden is different than everybody else. So every person has his or her share that they are supposed to carry. I promise you, says God, you want your sorrows, you want your burden to carry, not your friends. You see, if you want your friend's home in the Hamptons, no problem, you can have it. But then you have to have everything your friend has. And that includes all his or her problems. You want their diamond necklace? No problem. You can have their diamond necklace. But remember, their diamond necklace is not a one thing. It's v'chol asher lere'echa, everything your friend has, which includes the package deal. And when you look at the package, God says, I promised you, you want the package that I gave you. You see, God gave every single person a burden, but he also gave every single person the ability, the power, the capacity to withstand all the troubles that you have. Every person is trialed and tested in this world. Every single person, whether it's trials of parnasa, of livelihood, whether it's trials of shalom bayit, whether it's trials of children, whether it's trials of health, every single person, unfortunately, was given his or her fair share of trials. And I promise you, says God, I gave you the power, the capacity, the ability to overcome your trials, but you don't have the ability to overcome his or her trials. And when you look at his smiling face and her smiling face and you think everything is fine, I promise you everything's not fine, because every single person has a burden to carry in life. So you want their diamond ring, you could have it. But remember, it's a package deal. And remember, just like a person who owns a donkey would never saddle the donkey with something that the donkey couldn't carry, right? You don't put a burden on the donkey and the donkey will fall and crumble, and because what's the purpose of giving the donkey a burden to carry? If it fails. So too God gives every single one of us a burden to carry, and make sure that we can carry that burden. So this is the secret. The Torah tells us how it's possible not to be jealous, not to covet. This is just commandment number 10. So 2 things to sum up. Remember, number 1, the tools, why not to covet, because it's a package deal. But more specifically, we are able to control our thoughts, whatever comes into our mind, like that story of the house. As it says in Tanya chapter 14, and maybe one time we'll have a whole shiur on Tanya chapter 14, where the Alter Rebbe in Tanya writes that every single person can say those magic words, N-O, no. We are able to control ourselves. That's it for today. Have a wonderful day. And remember, every single day we are here at 9 a.m. just giving these power lectures, power shiurim on Zoom and Facebook Live. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Yasher koach. Thank you.
Koyach,